Good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome here to School Through Spirit. I'm DeEtte Ranae here on WLTK-DB. Let's Talk Digital Radio. Now, this is a show to explore different people's lives, their journeys, and how spirit has impacted it. Now, I do talk about a subject that spirit has given me every week. And then I go in to bring through my guest, which is awesome. And this morning is Miss Becky Jo the Healer. Becky is flipping phenomenal. Oh my God, Becky is. She's a healer. She's a medium. She's a psychic. She's a Hay House author. She has her own radio show out of Poynette, Wisconsin, I believe it is. And the coolest thing is me and her started in the same garage together, quite literally. But at different times, obviously. But when Becky comes on, I'll tell you what, this is a show, guys, you're not going to want to miss. I mean, if you have a show that you just go, oh my God, I've got to listen to, even if it's today and you can't listen to the whole thing, make sure you hit it up with one of the podcasts, okay? Because you're not going to want to miss Becky. Now, speaking of that, just so you know, if there's a few different ways to find me here this morning. Now, I do know if you're here listening to me, you're already on one of those formats. But if you want to switch or you have to switch to something different, as always, you can go to the station and it's on the web. It is WLTK-DB.com. There is a listen live button. Click the listen live button. Okay. Now, if you want to see this lovely face of mine, please feel free to, and you can go to Facebook. You can and Facebook, go to the Facebook page of WLTK-DB, and you're going to find it there. It's streaming live with the face, the background, everything on there. You can also go to YouTube. You can go to LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch. We are there. There's no excuse not to see us. Excuse me. Why is it? I'm just finding every time I start this morning, every time I seem to talk on the radio, my nose goes. It's like my cue. Now, if any point in the show, again, if you cannot watch the whole thing, listen to the whole thing, and you're like, boy, I didn't want to miss that, feel free to join us on a podcast, okay? Because as soon as this show is done, the air is done, the live is done, my producer Todd flips this into a podcast form, and it's not altered, it's not edited, it is still raw, and he ships it off to podcast. Now, our podcasts are pretty much, can't say everywhere because I'm not sure about everywhere, but I can tell you this much: if you got a smart TV, you can find it for sure. Because you can find it in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Audible, the list goes on. And if you hear of any more, because that does happen, feel free to shoot it to me. Now, you can find some of those podcasts on the Haunted Voices, and you can find some right underneath my own show, which is School Through Spirit. Is something we started doing about a month and a half ago at popular request, because people wanted to hear our individual shows. Oh my God, my eyelash. They wanted to hear our individual shows. They wanted easier accessibility to it. So our producer listened and he produced, and here you go. Bingo. We have our own shows on our own pages. So I'm very easy to find, accessible. Please share it with your friends, because as my 4-year-old granddaughter says, sharing is caring. So today, today I had a lot of stuff going through just a ton of stuff going through my head over the course of the last few days. It's been crazy, really, really crazy. So, I wasn't putting a lot of thought into this morning. I apologize for that. So this morning I woke up and still I had just a ton of stuff going on in my head. And I would pop in and check, oh my God, Spirit, what should I talk about? And then I pop right out right away. It's like squirrel moments. I'm sure you guys have all had those. And then Spirit presented a situation for me. Because I lost something in my Excel program, a spreadsheet I desperately need. Like, I don't want to have to remake this at all costs. I don't want to have to remake the spreadsheet. And I thought it was lost. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I'm Googling how to recover this, and what's saying on Google I don't have on the screen. And I'm just like, oh God, what am I going to do? And at that moment, I took a really quick breath. And you know what? For myself, I did this without thought. because it's just me. It's my life. It's how it works. Because as everybody knows, I always say, hey guys, I work with spirit. I live in spirit. I really do. Except for when that ego gets me. And every once in a while it does. But for the most part, I live in spirit. So I do this naturally. I literally just kind of got a quick message, do this, 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 this. I did it and boom, it was there. I don't even know, because anybody that knows me, I am not a computer savvy person. Okay. I am not a tech savvy person. I need assistance with it. And I always have to say to myself, I'm tech savvy, I'm tech savvy, I'm tech savvy, almost to convince myself I am, and hope the universe lets me be. And I guess with that they do, because literally they told me what to do and boom, boom, boom. The files recovered. It wasn't really lost. It was just in a wholly different part of my computer that I didn't know that my computer had, and go from there. There it is. And I'm so happy I was able to make some changes and life went on. And I really didn't think much about it other than there's just gratitude, tons of gratitude for having that. Okay. Tons and tons and tons of gratitude for having that. So I did my normal routine before the radio. I went to give the grandbabies a hugs and kisses, tell them Nana's got to work for a little bit, go to use the restroom, wash my hands, all that type of stuff. Get something to drink, grab my water bottle. Too much information, I'm sure, but we're all human. And literally, I looked, I won't forget it because I was washing my hands. I looked in the mirror and I said, Spirit, what do you want me to talk about? And they said, duh, we already told you. I went, what? And they said, talking to us. And I went, whoa, that's a pretty good subject. That's a really good subject. Matter of fact, and how do I take that subject and turn it into something very short and very, brief time? I normally get a lot of time to talk about this just to people. Okay. Sorry, I'm playing with my candle. I love the scent of it, but the feel of this candle is just, it like melts for some other reason. And it feels good. So again, too much information, I'm sure. Anyway, so this I'm going to take you through a walk of a day of my life. Okay, a walk in a day of my life, and maybe this will help you. Because it's actually been a question that comes up a lot to me lately. How do I get signs? How do I know who they're from? How do I talk to my spirit guides? How do I know they're listening? How do I get the information? And that has probably become my number 2 question that people ask. It really is. And it doesn't matter if it's psychic or mediumship. They always have a question of, because I always try to leave people with that whole thought process is that you don't need to call me for a reading. Okay. Because you can talk to your own loved ones. You can talk to your own dead peeps. You can talk to your own guides. You can do all that on your own. You need me to talk to somebody else's loved ones, and I do mean that quite honestly. Okay. So let's go. Let's actually start with what a day for me, a day when I wake up. Like I'm getting up and I'm getting ready for the radio this morning, and I literally wake up and I do like everybody else does. I stretch, I yawn, I use the facilities. I do everything like everybody else does, and it probably does pretty much fashion because I don't wake up gorgeous. But anyway, I stretch and do everything else. But when I'm getting out of bed, I'm thanking, my guides for being there. Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing? Thank you for being with me still, And I start to go throughout my day. Okay. And we literally sit there and we talk, and it's funny because there's this conversation that's naturally going in my head now with them. But then I always go to the, when I want to make sure they're there and we're talking, I'll say, hey, what should I wear today? What should I wear today? And I'll tell you what, I had an idea of something totally different to put on today because it was going to be a black shirt, but it was going to be a V-neck black shirt, blah, 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 same material, everything else, very comfortable, but then maybe a pair of jean shorts. And when I went to the closet, I grabbed this and I went, that's not what I want. This is obviously a round neck, but it's also a dress. And I went, this is not what I want. Although it's really comfortable, it could be pajamas easily because it's so comfortable. And they said, but this is what you need for the day. And I went, okay. And I grabbed it and I started to walk away and I went, why do I need this? And they were like, because you're going to be sitting in front of your computer all day long. You've got the radio show, you have to do a lot of writing, a lot of connections. And it's just going to be an all day process. And they said, you need to be comfortable. You need to be really comfortable, like in your pajamas all day long. And I went, oh, that makes sense. So I needed something comfy for the day, but I also wanted something more presentable for people that are going to see me. So this actually was a perfect in between. So I was like, oh, thank you guys, because I really would not have thought about it. I would have gone partway through my day going, oh my God, these shorts are just getting, I'm a chubby lady. So when you're getting another pair of jean shorts, after a while sitting straight up, they get kind of funky around the middle section. So I was really thankful. So, I that happens. And I'm like, okay, well then, I go and I get ready, I do all this stuff. And, I'm trying to watch my grandson who's gonna be 2 next month, and I need to do my makeup. I need to get this done. And I'm going, I don't know how, because he doesn't want to leave my bedroom. By the way, this is the lovely bedroom until the office is finished. But I have to also do my makeup, and I don't have a mirror in here. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do it. And I hear, turn your computer on. I'm like, oh, for the world to see me do this? And I literally hear, no, just use your Zoom camera. Oh, great idea. And so I literally listened. Again, I listened. The problem solved. I didn't have to solve it. Spirit told me do this. It's just these small things I hear. Okay. Got the makeup done, came back. I remembered I had to switch some things on that list. And I thought, okay, it's a quick 2-second fix. I come up. Again, it's missing. Instead of panicking, well, I will admit, I started panicking because I was trying to do this on my own. And again, I've told you, I am not a tech savvy person. I need assistance. Okay. So literally I stopped really quick, guys. I need help. I need somebody on tech on the other side. I need somebody that understands this world on the other side. And they come in and boom, really quick. It's like this quick download into my head. Click, 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 click. Boom, and there it is. Now, I'll tell you what, I worked for 10 minutes on that before I asked for help. Why? Because I wasn't thinking. So it's all that type of thing going on. It's crazy. My day, I do that all day long. And that's just so far this morning, how many times I've talked to my guides for everyday stuff. Because trust me, they're there for everything. When I tell you have guides and they're there to help, they are your best friends on the other side. They're not limited to just a spiritual journey. They're there for every problem, anything you could possibly need on the other side. And trust me, I use them. I'm always asking them for help. I'm always asking them, help me calm my mind in this situation. Get my mind off of this. Help me with this. How do I do this? How do I do that? And they're always there to help. The cool thing is, they're also there for conversation, just plain conversation. And it's pretty amazing. I can't tell you how many times I've gone for a ride and I know a guide sitting in the seat with me. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're talking back and forth. The cool thing is, because this is what I hear a lot from my students is as I argue with my guides. I argue them all the time. Because, once they've figured out this process, once they have figured out how to talk to their guides and listen to their guides and have that communication, they start arguing with them. And I can attest to the same thing. I do the same thing, And one of my best ones is my sister, who, yes, she's a loved one on the other side, but she is also asked to be one of my guides now. And she has been since shortly after she passed away. And that wasn't something I asked. It's something she wanted to do. And I was all gung for it. Like, let's keep her close, And she likes to come in on my career stuff. Okay. Of course, she likes to come in when I get stubborn, is really what it is. When I'm stubborn, when I really need that push, when I need that person to go, da, 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 that good scolding is when she likes to show up. And she's really a great person for that. And there is no secret to anybody that knows me or knew her. And for family purposes, I'm just not going to say her name. But anybody that knew her knew that she was a music freak in general, just music. Loved music. Would sing to the top of her, to the top of her voice, and just try to scream to the top of a mountain. She was just so blessed and so amazing and so joyful in that. But one of her number one bands was Journey. I mean, number one fan in the world, Steve Perry, blah, blah, blah. And Steve, if you're listening, when you die, she's going to be meeting you there. Just so you know, she's going to be the person you see on the other side because I can't think of another number one fan than her. Um, but but also she also knows one of the members of Styx, because they grew up in Beloit together. Um, so if you're listening, I can't remember your name, but hey, howdy ho to you too. Anyway, to get back to her, I get really stubborn, and I like to tell this story because it's so cute. It's so fun. I actually sit there and I laugh, and it goes back a few years, um, probably about 3 years, 4 years ago, and I was really struggling with myself. Okay, I was really struggling with because I was still nursing. I was still working as a medium. I was still teaching. I was still doing all this stuff, but I was doing everything on a much smaller scale. Okay, a much smaller scale. And I was really, really struggling with, is this the path that I'm supposed to take? Should I just stay in nursing? Should I just stay there and be taking care of people for the rest of my life in that physical capacity? Or should I just give up and just go straight into mediumship and psychic work and spiritual guidance and past life readings and medical intuitive and teaching and all this other wonderful, glorious stuff that we do? And I was really stubborn one morning. And I'm like, but I was angry stubborn. I wasn't happy stubborn. I was angry stubborn. Okay. But because I wanted definite in my face proof this was what I was supposed to do. And that morning, because I was agency nurse for most of my career, I go into the facility I was working at, and they put me in the Alzheimer unit, the Alzheimer's floor. And I went, great, thanks, guys. Thanks, appreciate it. Because on that floor, yes, there was me for one wing, another nurse for another wing, and yes, a handful of aides, and a floor full of Alzheimer patients. Every room was full, every bed is full. But with Alzheimer's, the souls tend to not stay with the body. I mean, they're still connected by the cord. The soul is still there somewhere, but it doesn't need to stay with that body anymore. So for myself, when I go into an Alzheimer unit, it's dead silence for me. Excuse me, because there's this, the souls are they're not laying in bed with the body per se. They're off seeing their family, they're off traveling, they're doing whatever. They're just like we do when we sleep, per se in that aspect. So don't anybody get scared. Your loved ones are still there and all. It's just the souls don't feel they need to be trapped there too. So literally, I'm on this unit, and I'm just like, I'm by myself, quite literally by myself, because the aides, there's only a couple, a handful. They're very busy. The other nurse is really busy, so you're by yourself. And this was a Sunday. So there wasn't therapies, there wasn't doctor, there wasn't administration, there was nothing. It was just us. And the unit clerk even has a day off. And the unit clerk had a radio there. Every day before she left, she would unplug it. She'd only plug it into it while she was there. She would unplug it at the end of the day. And clearly this thing was unplugged the day before. We didn't plug it in. It was still unplugged and very quiet. And I went, Spirit, am I supposed to be a medium? Am I supposed to do this? What am I supposed to do? I need signs. I need clarity. And the radio starts playing Journey. Okay. And it's funny because I can't remember what songs they were. For the first probably 6 months, I could tell you each song, but I couldn't remember this. I can't remember, but the songs were very appropriate to my questions. And I sat there laughing, going, really, Jackie? But it's exactly who I needed because I needed that swift kick in the butt. And I wasn't listening to her. I wasn't listening up here. So she was using stuff physical. So every time I had a question, that radio would start playing again and another Journey song. And it was just, I even went, how am I supposed to do this? Like, I don't know. And I'll never forget it, that part, because I was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make a career of this. I don't know what to do. And Journey comes on and it starts literally on the song, The Wheels in the Sky Keep a Turning. And I started laughing so hard because to me, that was spirit was with me on this journey. That's how I interpreted it. The wheels in the sky keep a turning. And I was like, oh, no way. I didn't have to hear the rest of the song. I just needed to hear that. So literally, the songs weren't even starting at the very beginning and going to the end. It was just parts of the song. And I was like, this is crazy. And I'm sure nobody else was hearing it but me. Okay. Because nobody was like, oh my God, the radio's being spooky and haunted. And it was so funny because me being who I am, and I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. Anybody that knows me, I'm just stubborn. Getting less as I go, but for the most part, it's kind of how I've always lived my life. 2x4 therapy is what I've said, but now that I'm sick and tired of getting hit, I've calmed it down and said, let's just give you, like little flice water instead. But I'll never forget this part because I'd gone through this day. Now remember, I had a 16-hour shift that I was doing, and you would think I was getting kind of tired and this and that. But literally towards the end of the 16-hour shift, I was doing the last med pass. Now remember, I'm also on an Alzheimer unit. And I've already told you, you know what? And everybody was full blown Alzheimer's. This wasn't just kind of there, kind of not there. These were people that really did not have a moment of clarity in a very long time. And what had happened was um oh my gosh, I said it. Sorry, Becky, I'm sending it to you. My do. I apologize, guys. I'm doing 5 things at once now here because um I failed to send the link to my person that's coming on this morning. Um, anyway, so basically, what had happened, and this is what's really cool, is towards the end of the day, I was on the last med pass, and excuse me, my eyes itching. So I was on my last med pass, Alzheimer unit. This was my thought process all day long. So I never got rid of the thoughts in my head. It was constantly all day. And I literally went, but Spirit, I don't even know who I am. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know who I am. Like, thank you for all the conversation all day. Thank you for all the signs. Thank you for things I could not deny. But I don't know who I am. I'll never forget that because I was getting the last person's meds together, doing my triple checks, the whole 10 yards. And those were my thoughts. And I went into this room and this lady was in bed and she had her head up and I gave her meds, and she was a person I had to give, 1 pill at a time, and she would take a few minutes to swallow each pill, and it's because she was watching TV also. And but it was just her general conversation. So, this lady was Alzheimer's. I think she had schizophrenia affect or something too. So she was just like a double, triple whammy. And I'll never forget it because she had something on some paranormal TV show on, and it was one of one of those that had mediums involved. And she was telling me how she just loved that show. And I said, oh, I've never seen the show. And she goes, oh. And we're having this conversation. And she looked at me and she told me I was one of them. I looked at her, I said, what are you talking about? She goes, you're one of them, aren't you? And I said, I don't know what you mean. She goes, she talks to dead people. She's a medium. You're one of those. And I looked at her and I was like, wow, thank you. I needed that. I needed that. And it was so weird because this isn't something I went and told patients. I didn't go tell patients I talked to dead people. She didn't know anything about my personal life. That's something I kept to myself. And to top it off, she's Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's with another uh, diagnosis on top of it. So when I walked back to my car, I went, wow, I can't deny that one. And when I looked at the whole day, I was like, Spirit has given me signs all day long to what I was supposed to do, what my life path was, the direction I was supposed to go. And when I got home that night, because I had an hour plus drive, I started to put things into action. I started the course to say, okay, Spirit, now that I've gotten your message, now I'm going to start listening. I'm going to start listening better. I'm going to start really involving you in my life. And that's what I did. I started involving them 110% of my life. And trust me, you can do the same thing too. You can ask for those messages. You can ask for signs. Spirit will give it to you every single time. I mean, that's no bullshit. I'm sorry for my swearing, but that's just there is no falsehood in that statement. Spirit will always give you the messages. Okay, every single time. You know, and that's just because then I was able to, like I said, from there I was able to start looking at those opportunities, and from there I look at every opportunity because I've now listened. Now I've learned, gotten better at listening. Let's put it that way. I've gotten better at listening. Um, Spirit will give me those opportunities, and there are doors, there are opportunities, there's things that just swing open. You have to not be stubborn enough to say, Spirit's giving me that door. I need to walk through it. These are things and these can be, people come to you and say, like with this, hey, got a radio show. I need a host. Oh shit. Wait, whoa. You've been telling me about that. I'm going to walk through and take that opportunity. Even though I was terrified, I still pushed past those boundaries and did that opportunity. Spirit has written my book in my head, literally word for word in my head. It is outlined on my computer, somewhere on my computer. I've asked Spirit because I don't have time right now. I have a few things going on. I need the office built. I need a lot of excuses, basically, a lot of excuses. Excuse me, where I've asked Spirit, hey, can you back off for a little bit? I'm going to write it. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to give all my time to it. But I need these things. And they said, yeah, no problem. They stopped writing the book in my head. They're waiting for me to have my list of demands. And when they say I'm ready again, that opportunity will open up and I will walk through the door and I will sit down and I'll write and write and write. There's always opportunities. There's always something there. Yesterday, literally, we were at the Freshman's Park, over here by Edgerton, and I kept hearing things left and right. I don't know why. I act on it. People are like, why'd you buy that? Not a clue. Not a clue. Just heard Spirit tell me, okay, I'm going to grab it. When I got home, I heard you're going to use this for trinkets for like Christmas present wrapping. Oh, so I bought Tupperware. I don't like Tupperware, but I bought Tupperware, a bunch of it, to wrap Christmas presents in. And I went, okay, I don't get it, but there you go. But I started laughing. I went, oh, I understand it now. I get it. Because every year for Christmas, we have this huge Christmas meal, huge, way too much food, and more between leftovers for our own fridge. Wrap people's presents in their Tupperware, wash the Tupperware, fill the Tupperware with food, and send them home. Oh my God, that solved the problem I've had for 2 years. I had no clue. Spirit told me about the problem solving after I got home. I just listened for the Tupperware. I literally went in to buy one piece for snacks for my granddaughter for school. The ladies tell me you can get this and this for this price. Okay, I just listen and I do. And trust me, if you start paying attention and you start listening and stop getting stubborn with what you think is your own mind, you're going to be blown away, completely and totally blown away by what Spirit's going to give you to do. You're going to realize how much easier life can be. Okay? So much easier life can be when you just go, you know what? I'm going to listen. I'm going to do what you say. I'm going to take your suggestion. I'm going to wear what you want me to wear. I'm going to do what you want me to do. I'm going to take that suggestion and run with it. Now, trust that Spirit's never going to tell you what you have to do, but they'll always be there to help you through. So starting today, start asking them. Start asking them for signs. Start asking them for help, information. See what pops in your brain. See what pops up in front of you. See what you mindlessly do. And then ask them why you did it. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this morning's talk so far. I'm going to take a quick break here. And when we get back, we'll have Becky Jo here on School Through Spirit with WLTK Digital Radio. I'm DeEtte Ranae.
Sunday, October 24th, the 2021 Statler City Psychic Fair in Buffalo, New York. Come out and meet psychic medium and host of School Through Spirit, DeEtte Ranae, and spirit medium and host of the Ghost Finders, Rob Thompson. DeEtte Ranae is a renowned psychic medium, medical intuitive, and master teacher of psychic mediumship development. Hailing from Wisconsin, DeEtte trained under world-renowned psychic Lisa Williams. Spirit medium Rob Thompson is one of DeEtte's mediumship development students. He is the host and executive producer of America's longest-running indie paranormal TV show, The Ghost Finders, on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Roku. He has made guest appearances on other shows including Discovery Channel's Paranormal 911 and A Haunting, and teaches paranormal research at the Los Angeles City College. Come and meet these two superb mediums together on stage for live gallery readings. Remember, Sunday, October 24th, the 2021 Statler City Psychic Fair. Get your tickets now at StatlerCity.com. That's StatlerCity.com. Doors open at 1, close at 6. Gallery readings, tarot cards, and more. Statler City Psychic Fair. Tickets at StatlerCity.com.
Hey, everybody. Waiting to see if Becky's here. She's running just a moment. I'm just asking if she's in the waiting room yet. My chat group is a little slow here. Okay, well, she'll be in here really quick. I know she's not quite here yet. I know she's coming. I know she's looking forward to it because she just texted me not that long ago, asking her if she's having some difficulties. And go from there. Anyway, I'm just asking for if she's having some problems because she'll be here soon. I know she will. I completely trust in that because I sent you the link. Anyway, with all that being said, let's just talk a little bit more. And I want to talk more about, until Becky comes in, I want to talk more about, oh, she is here. Awesome. So we'll talk more with Becky. How's that sound? So let me welcome in Miss Becky Jo. Hi, Becky.
Hello. Good morning.
I was starting to go on another rant.
Well, that's what we do.
That's what we do. That's all we ever do. This morning I was talking about talking to your guides and all that lovely stuff,
Yeah.
So it's been fun. But can you tell everybody, I was telling people a little bit about you in the very beginning, and I told them that you and me started in the same garage. And
we did.
I told my producer, I said, I should have left the garage when Becky did, but I wasn't even in the garage yet when you were there.
It was so many years ago. I mean, I don't think either one of us even really realized the extent of who we were back then.
No, not even, if I tell people, and it's funny because one of my advanced students that's certifying this weekend was one of my first professional readings in that garage. And I remember looking at her going, praying nobody would show up, and prayed after she left nobody would sit at that table because I was terrified. Terrified,
Yep.
And now she's actually certifying with me, which is awesome.
Cool.
I know. So, but can you tell people a little bit about you? Because I adore you.
Oh, thank you. I adore you too.
Oh.
So my name is Becky Jo, and most people know me as Becky Jo the Healer on Facebook, and Instagram and on social media. But I also go by the pen name, the Holistic Healer. That is my author name. Mm-hmm. And I have these gifts that God gave to me that I spent many, many, many years denying. Mm-hmm. And, I've been seeing angels since I was in my crib. I remember being probably 6 months old, and I know people say it's impossible, but it's not impossible. I do remember it. Mm-hmm. I have been having these heavenly beings around me my entire life. And my book that I wrote is kind of my life story of how, you go through life, and the first half of my life, I didn't even really understand what was happening. In fact, I just wanted to be bad. Like, you know, these angels were around me and Jesus was around me. And, you know, I kept putting these thoughts on my head to not do bad things. But I was like, no, just go away. Just let me do naughty stuff. I want to just be naughty. You know? So it's actually incredible looking back at it. But like going through all the trials and tribulations, and like all the times I was divinely saved, all the times that I, you know, the near-death experiences that I've had, the incredible healing experiences and divine interventions that have always happened for me. But the best part of it is when you, and I know you understand this yet, when you get to the part in your journey where you are like, holy crap, the light bulb comes on, you realize you actually understand, oh my God, this is really real. And this is amazing.
Yeah.
And you just want to share it with the world.
Right.
You want everybody to experience what you have. And it's unfortunate that we've been taught in our society to be afraid of these things, but these are beautiful things.
Oh, God.
So, you know, nowadays, once I realized I had gifts, then I have spent probably the last 11 years really learning how to use them. And I now travel all over the United States with my book and with my healings, and just trying to light up the world as much as I can. I just want humanity to heal. I want people to understand that you are the light. We all are the light.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's especially now, we need to be the light.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree 110%. You know, and I love how you were talking about kind of like when that light bulb comes off, like that. Oh my God. You know, and I always try to tell people, you don't get just one light bulb. You get lots of light bulbs. You know, I mean,
many.
I could tell this, and I'm going to, because you're so involved in this story. And it happened last year. Remember when we actually got face to face together for the first time in like forever?
Yes.
And
incredible.
It was. And it's so funny, everybody, because literally I was supposed to be doing, and like I was telling the story, but I always ask Spirit, what should I wear for events every time?
Me too.
And for 2 events, I was hearing nothing. They weren't helping me. And I'm like, why are you not helping me? And they're like, I already told you, you're not going to be doing events. We're not going to tell you what to wear anymore. You won't want to listen, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I'm like, whatever. And then I show up to the second day of this event, because obviously I wasn't at the first day. And I'm watching, and for whatever reason, I seen you walking by. I didn't even recognize it as you because it'd been so long. You know what I mean? It was like
a lot of years.
Oh my God, she walks by. I don't see her. And as I'm watching you walk by in your outfit, I looked at Spirit and I said, why won't you help me? And as you're walking by, and they said, because you have nothing in your closet to wear for this scale. And it was you walking by in your outfit. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I realized it was you. And I'm like, you're comparing me to Becky?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And it was so amazing because you and me sat there and talked. And you were like, yeah, they're starting you on that whole next leg of your journey. You have to open up. You have to listen to coming. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing that. Yeah. You know, and it was like, you need to listen to this lady because she's dressed better than you are because she knows what to wear.
I can totally see Spirit saying that too, because they're, you know, and you know what's awesome too is like that day you said to me, like, I want to do what you do, Becky. I want to be an author. I want to have my own radio show. And I said, you will.
Yes.
Remember that? I was like, you will.
Yeah.
And here you are.
And 6 months later. And the funny thing is now Spirits wrote the whole book in my head, every word for word in my head. And I've actually like outlined it on the computer, but I haven't written it. And they're like, what are you doing? I said, I need my office. I need to finish writing the program for my certified class. I need to do this. And when that's done, we'll do this. And they're like, they're like tapping their fingers at me.
Yeah. You know? No. The thing is I've learned too, is like, it will, you'll keep getting pushed until you do it. And it's like, there's like, oh, humans, like, don't forget it. Like, it's time. Exactly. That divine timing, and there's that window, and if you jump in that window, just magic, you know. But we make it overly complicated for ourselves, you know.
Right. Well, it was funny too, because when I messaged you not that long ago, and I said, "Hey, was this the producer or the publisher?" And you're like, Yeah, it was I was laughing because they're the ones still contacting me. And I
Mhm.
had that thought in my head. I went, "Wait, I remember Becky saying driving down the road, one last phone call," and you just went, "I'm ready." And
It's
here they are
not.
contacting me for like the 4th round of contacts.
Yes.
And I didn't say yes again. And I'm going, will they do it again? Will they reach out again? You know?
But
So
they
it'll be
will
interesting.
because the same thing happened to me. I said no for 2 years. They were contacting me and I was like, "Nope, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready." And then it was like that last time, literally, like I told you, like I'm driving down the road and you know, you just you hit the button in your car and I'm like half listening because I figure it's probably, you know, whatever. And the way that she worded it, she said, "Becky Jo, it's time." And then it was like, oh my God, I had to pull over because I
Yeah.
mean, literally divine presence. Like I could feel all of who I was in that second. I was like blown away. Like there was no denying that I better not say no this time.
Right.
And the same will be true for you. It won't, I mean, obviously happen in your own way, but
Right. Yeah, and it's so funny because I was even talking to my producer. I said, "I should just left the garage with Becky did." He's like, "You have your own path, DeEtte. It's okay."
yeah,
I'm like, "You're
yeah,
right. You're right."
yes. And that's what's incredible is that, you know, we lead by example with each other, you know, throughout this journey, even though we haven't walked beside each other the whole way, we still were
You're
walking very similar paths. And
yeah.
I do what I do literally so that I can inspire other people to do it too. So that's a big part of why I do what I do, why I put myself out there. And you know, I'm not embarrassed or ashamed. I don't care
Mhm.
who thinks I'm crazy or weird.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. You know, if
Yeah.
that's how you have to label me, okay. But you know what? I'm going to still do what I do and I'm still going to be who I am and I'm still going to do everything in my power to live my path and purpose that I came here to live. So
Right.
I want other people to do the same thing because it's such a beautiful life. It is so different. Like, and even for me, like I tell my husband all the time, like, I'm not like you. I'm not like other humans. I'm
Mhm.
not, I don't see life the same way. I don't know. I just don't think the way normal humans do. I'm always looking at how we can make things beautiful and divine and
Right.
alive. You know, like how can you live heaven on earth?
Right.
And when you do that, I mean, I just a lot of the stuff that people went through during COVID,
Mhm.
I didn't experience a lot of that stuff
Me
because
either.
I have done my work. And that's
Yeah.
another thing I get is like you have to do the work, you have to heal, and then
Yeah.
your vibration raises and you don't experience those things as much anymore. And when you do, it's easy to pull yourself back from it,
Right.
you know. But you're not going to find that out there anywhere.
No.
You know, not with material things, not with possessions. None of that is going to fulfill those holes we have inside. The holes are filled by ourselves and
Right.
our connection with God. And it's true.
Exactly.
Whatever God means to you. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
everybody has a different saying for it, but for me it's God. And I love God more than any human being.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Oh, I can't, I agree with that statement so wholeheartedly, you know, and
Yeah.
everything you just said, because even for myself, because like for me, COVID was, you know, the whole pandemic. It's huge. Don't get me wrong, it's
It was
huge. But I
horrible.
think
Yes.
everybody's experienced what they were supposed to take from it. And for
Yep.
myself, I quit the scene of, because I literally had this conversation with Spirit, and me and you had talked a little bit about this when we seen each other, where they were saying you're gonna get rid of events. I went, no, I'm not. No, I'm
Nope.
not. And they said, yes, you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, and they said, you don't need them. And I said, yes, I do. You know what I mean? Because I was so, oh my God, I needed to do this. And at the same time, they were telling me to retire from nursing. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that either. But I was only working one shift a month. It's not like it was feeding me.
Right.
And I can remember literally, I finally agreed, okay, I'll get rid of half the events. I'll do that. I'll get rid of half. They took my money making events away, is what they did to it. They didn't take the,
Scary at first.
yeah, that's terrifying because they left me all the fun, free, ooh, I want to feel good, that fuels my soul events, but took
Yes.
my money events away. And I went, are you kidding me? I finally got gallery positions for half of them. I mean, I worked hard to get to that point,
Yep.
finally being given it. And they went, gone. And I went, okay, and for myself,
step into your next level.
I did. And I did. And I retired from nursing on February 10th. Literally, that was my last shift a year and a half ago. And my daughter brought me a brand new scrub top, and I hate the color blue. It's no secret to anybody. I'm affected by colors. Blue is depressing to me, so I don't want it anywhere near me. And she buys me this blue scrub top that's like 1960s, like joy, peace, and love all over it, which is another thing that I'm not about. I'm an 80s girl, not a 60s girl. So it's, to me, this godforsaken thing I'm putting on my body. And she's like, and I'm like, and you're buying this for me? You hate me. And she's like, no, it's your retirement top, Mom, because I know you'll never wear this again.
That's
and
great.
I did. And COVID taught me, because my business tripled.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up everything and it tripled.
That's
and I went, are you kidding me? And then it was really funny because a year later they gave me COVID. And I'm like, why do and I didn't have the little bit of sniffles. I was on my back for a month, Oh yeah, it was awful. But and I literally listened. I'm like, why did you do this? And they said, because you need to slow down.
You realize what COVID actually is. Like from a divine perspective, not from a human perspective. Right. COVID changes and upgrades your DNA, and it also detoxes your body, and it's meant to keep you still so that you can go to the next level. So I had COVID before it was a thing. Like I had it the December before. I know I did, even though they weren't testing then. I know I did. I've never been so sick in my life, but I haven't had it this whole time. And because my guides told me I didn't have to worry about it. That's not a thing. I'm past that. Right. Not that I'm not respectful or that I'm, an idiot and thinking that I can't possibly, get sick. But, I mean, I'm respectful of it. Right. Kind of like me and you living, like you respect the illusion, but you don't connect with it. You stay in your divine presence as much as possible. It's the same thing. But what a blessing for you to have that time, right?
I did. And it was a blessing because for myself, I was one of those cases you heard about. I didn't have all the internal issues, but literally that exhaustion that lasted for months. Like it took probably 5 months to get some endurance back again.
Wow.
I don't have my total sense of smell back, but even with my total sense of smell, I can be in a reading and just go, God, can you smell it? And they're looking at me. I'm like, I can't believe I can smell this. Like, because Spirit has been using those senses now to say, let's heighten up this, let's heighten up that. It's there. They've been getting rid of a lot of the other senses that we take for granted, especially in mediumship, and going, here you go, here it is. And I'm like, wow, thank you. I ignored that,
Right. And the sense of smell, like for me in the last 2 years, I mean, I've always had a really strong, like I can smell things no one else can. Right. But the thing that I don't like, that I'm not happy about, is I can smell everybody's breath in a room.
Oh,
I know. I don't say that a lot because I don't want people to get embarrassed, but sometimes I'm like, why do you have to make me smell that?
And see, they take everything. When my grandson, when he poos, he's got to be like diaper in my nose for me to smell it. And I'm like, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Except for at his age, he's got to walk up and he'd say, poop. So I know he went.
Yep.
He's learned to be verbal.
Yeah, we have to have that to be able to do the work we do here on the planet. We have to have those keen senses, because that's how we are able to connect with Spirit and to know who's around. And people, I'm sure people ask you too. They ask me like, well, I want to hear Spirit talking to me. Like, how can you hear it? And I'm like, you guys don't get it. Like, you're expecting it in a way. You have an expectation. You have to let that all go and just let it come through how it does. Sometimes you actually physically hear it, but other times it comes in, thoughts or, the visions. You have to be open to any of it. People just expect, well, I'm going to hear, when you say hear it, doesn't mean physically hear it with your ears. Sometimes we do, but
It's rare. It's rare.
Very rare. It's
It's
very
really rare. And I always, and it's funny because you bring that up because I always talk to my students and I always have one, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she's listening, and I know she is because God bless her heart. I know she is.
God bless her.
But I use the story of this student, and I love her dearly because she would say that to me. I want to hear. I want to hear. Why can't I hear all the time? It was just such a struggle.
My students say the same thing.
Yeah, and literally we got to this point, and this is back when I was doing individual mentorships for people versus classes. And our class was, a couple of days later, me and her, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're not gonna believe what happened the other night." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "I woke up to hearing my name being yelled at me." And I said, "Oh," and I'm going,
"Oh, that's normal for us."
Like, she goes, "I woke up in the morning and said, 'Did you guys really yell my name to wake me up to me?'" And she's like scolding them out. And she's telling me about this. And I'm in shock. She goes, "What?" I said, "But you heard."
But this is what you wanted.
I did. I'm like, "You did." And it was so funny because then I turned around and had my own story with that because I want, and I know some people look at me like this is just a fantasy. It's a dream, blah, blah, blah. But I want to see my sister full-fledged, here you go, in front of me, have a talk, blah, blah, blah. I want her to haunt me, essentially. You know what I mean?
My dead family members haunt me, and it's a loving haunt, and it's great.
And I want that. I want to be able to sit on a bed and have a conversation. And she's always said, and it's always come through every other medium and everything else, "You're not ready. You're not ready." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And I get it, because if she showed up right here in my face, I'd be like, I don't know if I'd hug her or run. You know, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm not scared at all.
But you know what I mean? Because I know. I'm like, I don't know. So it's really funny because a few months ago I was laying on my couch, right? And I'm laying on my couch. The whole house is in bed, sleeping. I'm like, and I'm getting 5 minutes of glory time. You know what I mean? I'm watching my phone playing games. And all of a sudden I can see the vision of two like beings on the other side of the room.
Awesome.
Standing there looking at me, and the vision's in my head, right? But I hear with my physical ear, "Is she ready? She's ready. Are you sure she's ready? Trust me, she's ready." And I went, instead of acknowledging what I'm hearing and eavesdrop, I go, "I can hear you." Of course, that conversation stopped right then. Everything disappeared, and I'm like, "Oh, damn."
Yeah.
I was finally ready, and they're telling me you're ready. So
it's incredible. It's incredible. Like I used to be afraid of it too and get freaked out at first. The first time I saw my dad standing at the end of my bed, like when my gifts were really starting to come in, this was back during the garage days.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember Sherry Howe.
I do. She's in Arizona. Yes.
Yes. So Sherry did Reiki on me that day. And that's the first Reiki session I'd ever had. I was still kind of creeped out by Reiki back then. I was like, what kind of voodoo is this? With my little Catholic self. But she did that on me, and I went home that night, and she opened something up. So like I'm laying in bed, and during the session that day, she's like, "There's a dog around you." I'm like, "Why would there be a dog?" She's like, "What is this lady crazy? Why would there be a dog around me? Like I don't even really have dogs," or but I went to bed that night. I'm laying on my side, and there is a freaking dog standing there looking up at me over the side of my bed. So then I rolled over because I didn't want to see the dog. And there was my dad standing at the end of my bed. And it's the first time I'd ever seen full-fledged, like my dad. And I was like, "Oh my God, my dad's standing at the end of the bed," and my ex-husband was like, "Okay, yeah, Becky, go to bed." I'm like, "No, my dad's standing at the," you know what I mean? He's like, "Okay, just go to sleep." I'm like, "No," but after that, I was freaked out, but intrigued. And after that, now it's normal. It's a normal thing. People don't realize it because you probably do the same thing. Like I don't say anything to anybody about what's around them unless they ask. When I'm out in public, I know who's around who. I can see it I can literally see it. Right. But I don't want to creep people out. And some people are very creeped. So I just keep it to myself, and those that want to understand more, I will help them. But they need to understand that this is not bad. It's incredible. It's who we are. It's who humans are. Right. We don't go away. We don't die. We just transform. We're just moving into another plane of existence. And once I understood like the whole picture, when I had my big bang spiritual awakening, where I was like, oh my God, you understand it. Like I was shown all the levels and layers of creation. Like they showed me all of it that day at Holy Hill when I went out of my body, and Jesus stood before me. And I mean, you can't go back and unsee what I was shown that day.
Right.
You cannot.
Right.
So you have two choices. You can embrace it and go, okay, this is who I am. I was sent to this planet to help heal people who want to be healed, or you can be afraid of it and live your life, miserable and scared of it. So I was like, okay, this is where I got to be real brave, because this isn't a normal human experience.
It's not, but they can be, and that's just,
yes,
it can be,
yes.
And I wish people would, and I think they will. I think that's what a lot of the transitions are. I think that's what a lot of the awakenings are at. I don't know, and I'm sure you have more than experienced this. Understand that people that would never come to you and say, hey, and have curiosity or questions are coming now. We've seen it everywhere. I don't think this is just. I don't think this is a trend like, bell-bottom pants, what I mean, or something of that nature. People are starting to become much more open, much more accepting. I don't know why. I'm so happy it is.
Yeah,
I'm so happy it is.
The other thing that has been huge in the last year since COVID started, I have a lot of medical professionals coming into my clinic having sessions with me that never would before. Oh, wow. I have men willingly coming in for sessions with me, where before typically it would be, they would come there and they'd be like, this isn't my thing. My wife made me. I'm like, I know, honey, come on. And then after their session, be like, when can I book again? But men are willingly coming to me and saying, Becky Jo, I need your help. Right. And that's amazing. We're waking up.
Right. Well, now that you brought up the clinic,
yes,
it's moving, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. I didn't get to see the old one. I have got, because you're not that far away from me. I have to get there and see the new one.
Yes.
But tell people about your clinic, because I'm like, everybody always calls their places healing centers. We think we're spiritual, so we always got to get this grandiose. Yeah. And you're like, I'm the holistic healing clinic. And I'm not demeaning that, because it's amazing.
You gotta be humble about it.
I love it because it makes it approachable. It makes it feel like it's acceptable.
Yeah.
It's like, hey.
Yeah. We don't I don't need to do the grandiose, because you got to be in balance. You live your path and purpose, but you also are living amongst human beings who don't fully understand this. You have to make it approachable. You have to people understand that you actually do have something to offer them. Right. And clinic, because I consider myself, because I am a certified not federally, but nationally certified master herbalist, and now nationally certified aromatherapist. Right. Which obviously the state of Wisconsin doesn't recognize, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I've done my work. I actually have the education. I actually have the certifications, and also a certified heart math practitioner, spiritual. I mean, I have a lot of certs, and they're actually recognized. Yeah. So, to be a practitioner where people can come to me if they want natural medicine, people can come to me if they want spiritual healing, get on my table. You can come to me for emotional healing, for trauma healing, PTSD, addiction. Right. I mean, I work with all of it. And I also, am a chaplain in the community. Right. So I sit with people during their darkest hours, which is one of my favorite parts of my job. But some of my clients call me a Jackie of all trades. If you put it all, instead of saying I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, you know what? I'm a healer. Right. And I have a clinic where you can come to me and we will customize exactly what you need. And I will do everything to help you feel better. And most likely you'll feel angels wrapping their wings around you in love at some point, if you're open to it. Yeah,
I need to come just for a session, just to experience it, just go, oh my God,
You will never be the same afterwards. Even, I have people that it's the most beautiful experience they've ever had in their life. And I mean, you have to experience it. You just can't understand it till you come to the clinic, into my healing room, and you feel God coming through me.
Right.
And it opens you up to your own connection. And
Right.
most people have major awakenings after I have my hands on them, and
Well,
their lives change indefinitely. It's, I can't explain it. It's just
no,
I meant to do.
I love how you're saying it in your way, because I don't know if this is with most practitioners, and I won't say it is with most practitioners. I think you have to really push yourself through a lot of healing. You have to push yourself through so much, because I'm a Reiki master teacher. I don't teach Reiki just because there's a lot of Reiki out there. I don't feel that need for Reiki. I feel it much more for gifts, for abilities, if that makes sense.
That was what we used as our platform to learn our gifts.
Yes. Yeah, but I love it, because when people get out, because I don't do Reiki much anymore. When I do Reiki, it is, or healing such of that nature, it's more about healing past lives. And it's not something I chose to do. People get on my table and either I see it or they see their own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking whatever they have here and going back to the lifetime that really were developed, where that issue developed, and bringing it through for understanding, in this one, and then being able to release it.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the fact how you brought that in, because people don't realize that when you pick a practitioner, really look at what they do, look at their bio, read, this is what resonates with me. Because I hear that so often. I went and got Reiki, I went and got healing, I didn't feel much, this and that. Did you research your person? Is this what you need? You know what I mean? For me, you're going to come for these reoccurring issues I can't get rid of, that nothing happened in this lifetime, blah, blah, blah. And this is where it's going to come from, But yet when I do readings, I don't do much for past life readings. It's really weird.
It's not meant to. And that's when I do, for me, most of my stuff is all angelic. So it's working a lot with Jesus and the angels and Mother Mary. And so they literally come into sessions and people literally feel them touch their face.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, it's so incredible. But when I do readings, that's who usually comes through, or angels or Jesus or Mother Mary. Not that there isn't other, but my readings are more just really heavenly, and that's who I am. That's my gifts, and it's very unique. And I don't know anybody else that
I don't
like mine.
I don't, and since there's a slot opened up for that, there you go, take it.
Yes. And you know what, to be honest with you, I spent my whole life, like even as a little girl, I did not want people copying me. I always wanted to be unique. I would dress differently at school on purpose because I didn't want to look like the other girls. I didn't. And then if somebody would copy me, then I would go change it up. So now looking back, it's because I'm very unique. There's not another one like me on the planet. You will not find me anything like me anywhere else.
I love that.
And I say that in the most humble way. I don't mean that out of arrogance.
I get it, because literally my whole life, it's like I had visions of grandeur, but I was always trying to fit in. Always trying to fit in, being told you can't fit in. Like you are like a needle in a hand that just shines. Like you were meant to be found. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I hated my name. I made everybody call me D. I didn't want to be that. All of it, because I never wanted to be singled out. I never did my hair, makeup. I didn't do anything. I would try to get as unprettified and just as normal as I wanted to fit in. And these were struggles I had with my mom. She's like, why don't you do your hair and makeup? No. You know what I mean? I would fight. And I was in, my early 40s when I finally accepted that. And I'll never forget it, because I was flying the country doing health ed for corporations. And I was at, so literally biotesting, for corporations, blood sugar, all that stuff. And I was that person that flew in, did it, flew out. And I always had to do the finger sticks because I was really quick. And it's really where you want your head person. I could flip through them really fast. And I would sit there and go, hi, my name is DeEtte, blah, 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 blah. And my spiel would go so fast, they wouldn't even hear my name. And I was like, and I wouldn't think about it. And I was so happy. And I'll never forget, I was holding this lady's hand and I'm doing this. She goes, what was your name? It's DeEtte. And she goes, oh. so beautiful. You're so unique. I love that about you. Your name says it. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I embraced who I was. I embraced, at that time, it was just a name. And
Right.
that whole thing that went with a name. It wasn't the rest because I hadn't come to terms with the rest yet, but that was
Right.
like the beginning for me, was embracing that, that's why it was like, what, in a crowd of people, I've had people in a concert turn around and point at me like, there you are. And I'm like, how do you see me past 200 people? Like, really,
Your energy,
Yeah,
your
I
light.
mean, and that happened all the time. And that's not what I wanted. But literally in a moment, I embraced it and I went, that's awesome. That's why but that's huge when people get that click, that
Yes.
of who they are.
And it's releasing and letting go of who you thought you were, and then just more and more aligning with who you truly are. And
Yeah.
it's interesting that you say that, because I have really done my healing work. Like, I legitimately have allowed myself to go into my own darkness more than
Mhm.
people even realize I've done my work.
Yeah.
But I had one last thing that I didn't even realize I was fighting. And all these years, since I was probably 17, I've been coloring, because I have red undertones. So my hair is
Yeah.
real warm and it's golden, right? So it's
Right.
golden blonde.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
This is my natural color. I'm
I love
finally
it.
embracing it, because all these years I've been covering it up because I'm like, I don't like that gold. I don't like that gold. Well, every time I'd color it, it would turn to a ridiculous color. And then I'd have to, you know what I mean? I've been fighting this battle with myself. And then finally I realized, why am I doing that? That's not, I'm walking an authentic path, and I'm trying to be authentically who I am. No
Right.
masks, no hidden. Like, every piece about me, I'm honest about.
Right.
Why am I hiding that? You
Right.
know? So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn to love me for all of who I am. I have to learn to love my hair for what God made it. Right.
Yeah.
So it was like my last little, like,
I love that.
shallow human thing,
Right.
where I
I
was like,
love
you know
that.
what? This is who I am. And
And I love it because
it's golden. Good.
yeah, and I
That-
went to total opposite because literally when I quit, well, it was a year before I quit nursing. I started like, because my daughter was in cosmetology school, and by now she's done and she's actually doing colors. And I would never let her do colors because nurses, you're not allowed to. I want to hide who I am. I don't want to
no,
stand
I
out.
didn't
It
do
was
that.
all of that. So finally, I looked at her one day and I said, it slowly happened where I let her do like little red highlights, little just specks of them, but natural looking, to hide.
And
And
I
I'll
was
never forget
told.
I never forget the day. Yeah, because she's like, "Mom, your hair needs something." I said, "Okay," because I always let her I used to until recently let her decide. And one day she looks at me walking through the salon store, she goes, "Mom, your hair is getting boring. We need to do something." I said, "Okay, what would you like to do?" And she's just like, "How about red?" And I'm thinking, "Okay, we can do red. Red highlights is what I'm thinking." You know what I mean? So
Right.
we picked out this gorgeous raspberry color that I'm thinking is gonna be highlights. I'm not paying attention to what she's doing, not thinking that it's taken longer, not caring. And when she was dead, my whole head was a gorgeous raspberry color. And I went, I'm not hiding anymore. Am I? Like, Spirit said, here you go. Here's the world.
Yeah.
Like it's really dull right now, but it's become like my
Beautiful.
trademark to be this raspberry color that's really hard to keep up on because,
Yeah.
and then I get people going, well, you're covering your grace. No, not really. They won't grow in fast enough. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to be white and rock that color and be me and be that
Yeah.
person that just says, here you go. Because
Yeah.
it took me a long time to embrace that this is me. This is my body. It may
Yes.
be chunkier than I want it to be today,
But I
but
still love me the way I
I
am.
love me for who I am, and maybe I needed to get chunkier to realize I did stand out in a crowd, and you can't miss me now. I
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I mean? I
So
don't,
many,
but
so
you know
many.
what I mean? It's just embrace who you are for who you are today, because
It
it's part of
is.
your journey.
It's huge. And
Yeah.
honestly, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, but honestly, this is what I see with women in the clinic, with women that are awakening to who they are. Um, so many are opposite of me. I'm very different than any other woman I know, where I
Mhm.
have always stood out, and I was okay standing out. I wanted to stand out. I didn't want to be like everyone else. I was okay looking different, being different, being me.
Right.
And some people have misunderstood me for being arrogant throughout my life. And that's okay. If you know me and know my heart, that's not even close. But it's just a confidence that I've always had. I mean, obviously I've had my things with myself that I don't like, but most women that I work with or that I've met or that I've been friends with are like you, where they don't want to stand out. They want to stand in the corner. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be heard. They don't want anyone to pay attention to them. And then they come to me and I'm like, why? Tell me why. Because we deserve, each one of us does it. We're unique and we're beautiful. We're individual. There's there's no copy. There's not another one like us. So when you get to the point in your journey, like you have and I have, where you learn to, I love me, even on days where I'm like, ugh, another gray hair, or, oh man, I've never weighed this much before, whatever it is.
Right.
You still, at your core, I love me. And your life changes when you can truly mean it.
Right.
That's part of the healing path. That's part of the journey, because I couldn't always say that. And you couldn't either. Like,
oh no, there's
myself for a long time. I wanted to die. Like, I literally wanted to kill myself for a long time, because I did not feel loved. I felt so alone my whole life in this planet. Like, nobody ever understood me. And living your life, and I think it's an empath thing where we're so sensitive, we're so highly sensitive that regular people cannot understand us, and they mistake who we are. And when you learn to control that and control your energy and allow your light to lead rather than your darkness, for the most part, nobody's perfect. It's a game changer. And then you start to realize who you really are. And when you know who you are, life is amazing. It is. Even during the down times, life is still amazing.
It is. I can't even express it enough to so many people. It's scary to go there, though. It's scary to go into that depths. It's scary to go, oh my God, do I really have to look at that again? I already lived it. It's scary to go back and go, I'm going to dredge all this up to see it in a different light. And I even tell people, I said, and once you're done, Spirit will ask you to go back and do it again and again and again. But it's to switch that kaleidoscope, to see it in a different viewpoint, different colors, different whatever. Until it's almost like you accept it. You
eventually start to, when you keep going back into the trenches of your own darkness, eventually, as those layers clear, as you actually do the work and mean it, okay, eventually towards the end of it, I've experienced that I can look at people that have done horrible, horrific cruel things to me, that have made me hate myself and want to kill myself. I can look at those people from God's eyes now. I can understand, and I can have compassion for them, knowing that, oh my God, how awful it must be to be you, because you have to be very hurt inside to be able to be so cruel and demeaning to somebody else. So like, I can actually have love and compassion for them. Where before there's no way. When you're stuck in your own darkness, you can't see the light. There's no way you can have understanding for any other human beings. And that's the issue that humanity's facing these days, is everybody's in their own darkness and they don't know how to get out. And that's why they need people like us to help them and out of the darkness, so that you can see that there's a bigger world than this. Is what I tell people. And some people agree with me and some don't. But there's a holy trinity and there's an unholy trinity. And the holy trinity is the Father, the Mother, and the Child. So like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, however you want to slice that. And the unholy trinity is science, politics, and religion. And you know why? Because the Holy Trinity is you receiving information from God, from the divine. And the unholy trinity is you receiving information from human beings who are going to get it wrong.
I love that.
Get it twisted. right?
I
So
like
which
that. That
one
makes
do you want to
total
listen
sense.
to? Which
That
one do you
makes
want to listen to? Because
that
I
makes total
personally,
sense.
I'm going to listen to what God tells me is truth, not what human beings say. That's me. But that's after a lot of years of
That's a lot of years.
a life.
Yep, that's a lot of years. And like for myself now, everybody that has really wronged me, I want to just go give them hugs and celebrate them. And they look at me and they're like, people are like, why would you want to do that? I said, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be at the place I am.
Right.
Oh my God, you guys, do you realize I've got like this huge library in my mind of everything that's ever happened, whether somebody else has done it or I've done it to myself.
Right.
And it's all there, and Spirit uses it every day.
Yes.
For every person I touch, for everything about me, for everything. And why would I not go thank my bully for doing that? Like, oh my God, you gave me such a gift. Thank you. You don't even know what you did for me. And that bully would look at you and go, huh? They'd be confused, but it's like, you gave me such a life I wouldn't have had if you didn't just make me sit in the library for lunch every day for a year. It's incredible.
It is incredible. You can get on the other side and see that everything is here to help us. It's not meant to harm you. It's not.
No.
You're meant to learn and grow and evolve. And yeah, it's horrible when you go through it. And I've been on my knees before. I've been on my knees swearing and cussing at God during this journey. Like, why do I have to keep going through this? Why, and then after you're done and you look at yourself and you go, you dummy. You know why. But the human part of you is in that pity party. And it's like, come on, guys, let's get out of the pity, please. I promise you, it's so much better on the other side, but you have to do the work to get there. Yep. I cannot cure you. You have to cure you. I can lead you and I can give you tools, and God can give you tools, and your guides can give you tools, and your friends can give you information, but you have to do the work. You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to keep in that icky empath spiral where you just can never find your own light. And that's a horrible place to be. It really is.
Yeah, and I agree 110%. 110%. I want to ask you about your radio show.
Yeah.
I want people to listen to it because it is so amazing and so intense. Where do you get, not just what is the radio show, where do you get those ideas? And I know it's from God. I get it.
Yeah.
I know that answer.
I'm channeling.
It's all channeled. But tell people about this radio show because it's just amazing. It really is.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I do a radio show live on Tuesday mornings from 10 to 11. Mm-hmm. It's called Whole Healing with Becky Jo. And I do it through a community radio station in Sun Prairie. And so I also will live Facebook stream so you can see me in the studio because people like to see your face.
Right.
So you can go to my Facebook page, Becky Jo the Healer, and every Tuesday morning watch it live, or you can watch the replay. But so every week, basically a lot of people that watch or listen on the radio, they say this is their church. This is their weekly church. It's for people. I mean, it's for everybody, no matter what you believe, you'll get something out of it. But it's basically when I get up on Tuesday mornings, I go into meditation and I clear my energy and I humbly ask God how I can serve. How can I best serve? What do the people, how can I bring your light to this world today through this channel? Right. And so when I get into the studio, I just open my channel. And if you watch me, there's little signs that you can see that I'm channeling because I like sometimes I'll giggle and that's like, I don't know, it's like divine energy coming through me. And I just, it's like an overload. So I'll just giggle or I'll make little, but sometimes you can even see like the lights flashing behind me because there's so much energy in there. Yeah. But it literally is channeled from God. It is. I love it. And people can feel that when they listen to it. It's very inspirational. It's very moving. And I do believe that every person that watches it will get some sort of healing from it.
Yeah, I truly believe that because I watch it and I'm just like, I'm in awe. I'm like, And I sit there and go, oh my
Like,
God, how does she do that every week? Like sometimes I struggle for a half an hour and and then I'm like, and then the next week comes and I do the same thing. And it's like, here you go, you know, and you're just going, okay. And then I watch you do it again. And I'm like, oh my God, Becky, that is so amazing. You know what I mean?
thank
It's just to
you.
watch
Thank
it and
you.
watch that process, you know?
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
just
so
the
cool.
channel.
It is so cool to watch that process. And I think people should really kind of hone in and watch you and listen because it'll speak to you. It really will just speak to you.
Yeah,
You know?
it's meant to just help everybody who listens or sees it feel your own light and know who you are. I want people to know who you are. There's so much more to you than you've ever been taught. And I
Yeah.
know we hear this, but the first time you literally feel divine presence flow through you, and like you can't ever go back to being closed off.
Yeah.
And honestly, like there's nothing like it. There's nothing like being within your own spirit and feeling your own connection to God, or
Right.
whatever your flavor is, whatever you want to call God. I I will do everything till the day that I leave this earth. I will do everything within my power to help humans know who you are and know who walks beside you. Because
Right.
you knew who walks beside you. I know Jesus Christ walks beside me every single day, and he talks through me. He talks
Mhm.
through me. And you cannot deny that if you actually see my
Yeah.
my light and what I'm doing. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm not saying I'm special, because I'm
No.
not. I'm
No,
definitely not.
I
Just
get that
I'm willing to be
110%.
open to it.
People always want to put Jesus or the other side into a category. I don't want to talk about this because you know what? I'm grandiose. And it's like, no, you trust
No,
me, he can be in multiple places at multiple times. And trust me, he stands with everybody, not
you
just
stand with
individual.
everybody, no matter
Right.
whether you believe in him or not.
Do you like Buddha in the background?
I love Buddha, though. I have.
No, my cat. I'm hearing the noise. I didn't know if you could hear the noise or people can
No,
because he's been nailing the door back there, and all of a sudden the door is slowly open. I'm like, I wonder how many people are seeing that, thinking there's a spirit there. And then all of a sudden I'm like, which cat has just opened the door?
oh, that's awesome.
And
I love it.
that's Buddha. In case anybody wanted to know, oh, there's a story about Buddha because I love Buddhas. I love the statues of Buddhas. I don't know why
Me too.
they just
Because it represents
peace.
inner peace. It's
They
peace,
do.
love.
It is. And in my family, though, my family buys me Buddhas. My daughter just bought me this huge one that's awesome. But my granddaughter calls my Buddhas Charlie. She's named them all
Oh,
Charlie. So, which is really amazing. We let her name things. So my Buddhas they all have it. We're going to go and get on another Charlie. She knows what it is, blah, blah, blah. And she also names the cats in the house. So we have Chip and we have Snow Pop, which are the two older cats, about
yeah.
a couple of years old. This cat comes in thinking she's going to give it, some Sophia or whatever character. She looks
Yep.
at it and goes, Buddha. I'm like, really? Really?
That did not come from her.
Yeah, I'm like, so the cat got the name Buddha when the Buddhas are Charlies. I haven't figured it out yet. So,
That's awesome. I
so
love
I'm pretty
it.
sure anybody out there was watching that door slowly open. It was like if you could like tune into the noise, you could hear the
Yeah, like there's a
like it's a haunting.
spirit in the back.
I kept looking back like, God, I hope nobody's hearing that. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, I keep looking back. So people are not going to like, what is she listening for?
Yeah.
So everybody, it's not haunted. It's just the cat.
Sometimes that's the thing.
Buddha. It's just Buddha coming
We
in.
have spirits around us all the time. Sometimes it's just human stuff. It's
I
sometimes
just thought,
nothing cool.
yeah, I just thought it was really cool because you were talking about Jesus being with you. And I'm like, and here's Buddha.
I know. How amazing is that? I mean,
I
that
thought it was
that
cool.
wasn't a coincidence.
No, that wasn't a coincidence at all. At all. I mean, it was just the way it happened. I'm like, nope, not a coincidence. I got to share this with her. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, that's awesome.
I love it.
Speaking of your granddaughter, I am about to have a granddaughter any day now. And I cannot, like, I am beside myself. Like, I'm just over, like, I have so much energy about it. Like,
Mhm.
I know that they say once you become a grandma, you are, it's just, it's different. You move different, you walk different. I cannot wait. Like, this is one of those things where I know this is divine timing and she will come when it's her time, but I want it now.
Oh yeah,
I
and
want it now.
it does I'll tell you, I think it changes so many people, but when you're us, and I
Yeah.
don't want to say us versus them because it really isn't. But when you are
You feel it differently.
you just do, but when you have these abilities and they're heightened and you've done a lot to heighten your abilities because when you're psychic, everybody's psychic. You know, we've just really put in a
Everybody is.
lot of work to really strengthen those muscles. You know,
Yes.
and the mediumship is there. It is beautiful. But when you have a grandchild and then all of a sudden that grandchild is showing abilities, like all of a sudden your heart just goes, oh,
I
you know,
know.
like, and then you're doing this work not just for yourself or somebody else, like for myself. My
Yeah.
platform in the very beginning of becoming very public wasn't for me. I did it for my granddaughter because I
Yeah.
was like, I have this grandchild born and she is very gifted, very, very gifted. It's just the abilities are insane. She's taken over readings on me because I used to make this mistake. Oh, sorry, I got something in my eye. I used to make this mistake of doing readings when she was like 8, 9 months old, you know, because she would just walk around, you know, like crawl around the room and I could do readings by Zoom and blah, 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 no big deal.
Right.
And then literally I'll never forget the day it all changed because I had the laptop. I was sitting by the window, I had the laptop face towards me. I'm speaking to this guy, you know, this lady's husband. We're having this great conversation. All of a sudden he's not with me anymore. And I'm like, where did he go? Where did he go? You know what I mean? And I'm looking at her going, oh, I think he went to get coffee. I'm not sure. We'll just da-da-da, because I didn't know what to do because literally he disappeared on me. Stopped
Yeah.
talking to me. And out of the corner of my eye, I see my granddaughter talking to somebody. And so I connected to what she was talking to. I'm like, that man went straight to my granddaughter and started having a conversation and playing and having a good old time. So I looked at the lady and I said, by chance, did all the kids in the neighborhood love your husband? And she's like, oh my God, he would leave any conversation right now for a kid. And I just turned my screen and she just started bawling because here's my granddaughter took over the communication with the spirit.
Oh, wow.
And it was beautiful. But then we found every time I did a reading, we had to lock doors, this and that, because you want to come and talk to the spirit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I was like, honey, Nana's got to talk to him, not you. You know, but it takes you to a whole new level again, because now you're a grandparent, but now you really hold the responsibility of helping this child know that they're okay. So that they don't experience that negativity or that hiding or whatever that you may have.
Yeah. I don't
Because
want her
of
to
these
hide.
abilities, you know? So
Yeah.
it's amazing to be, and we laugh in our family because we do saging, we do grounding. They have with the babies because
Yeah.
if anybody has a colic baby, trust me, if you want them to
Yep.
quit screaming
Teach
at
them
you, go ground them. They knock it off right now. It's
We
awesome.
should have all been taught these things. These
Yeah.
are knowledge that we should have all been taught.
Yeah, and we've had humors that I'm gonna have to put Sage in a bottle and it has to go in her backpack because she's gonna walk up to the teacher one day and go, I just got such an attitude. I'm just, you know, it's just so heavy. You need to sage me. You know she's gonna do
The
it.
good news, though, is that's really becoming a mainstream thing now. Staging isn't so creepy anymore suddenly, which is
Exactly.
people understanding that it isn't voodoo. It is actually, sage actually has properties in it that clear, energy out, whatever you believe energy is.
Don't
So
put that on Facebook though, because they'll block it.
I know.
I put it up and they blocked it and they sent me a nice little message going, this is not blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my God, knock it
I
off.
know. I don't put any information like that on social media at all, and it sucks because it really should be shared, but unfortunately we're all still being filtered, and hopefully that'll come to an end as the light continues to return to the planet.
And I think it will. I really do.
It's
really
going to be icky for a little while yet, but we're all going to be okay. We're all going to be okay.
Oh, definitely. So is there any other books in the works?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just heard books,
Yes.
books like you're writing them.
Yeah, I took a break from writing for a little bit, and I started writing my second book. So I have my first book, The Calling of My Soul, for anybody that wants to order it. You can order it on Amazon or on my website.
Awesome.
This is my life story of going from darkness to light and realizing who I was and what was happening. And I wrote this as a healing transmission. So those that read it through my story, it helps you recognize yours. It helps you heal your own things by going, oh my God, the light bulbs come on and you realize things about yourself. But also I'm working on the second book, and the second book is called Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Oh.
So that one will be out probably sometime this winter, but that is the second part of the journey. Like the ending of this book is when I finally embraced being a healer and said, okay, here I am. I'm a healer. I'm done doubting myself. I'm done letting other people tell me. I'm only going to listen to God. And so the next book starts with, my adventures of becoming a healer and all the setbacks, all the trials and tribulations, and all the learning you continue to do even after you've embraced that.
Right. Oh, I love that. I love that. Are you still going through the same publisher too, or if you?
That is yet to be determined.
There you go.
Because I do have a lot. I actually have a lot of offers on the table.
Awesome.
And the other thing is my first book, I have offers out there to make a movie.
That's what I wanted to get there, but I wasn't going to blow because remember, we talked about that last year. And that's all I'm going to say is we're going to talk about it last year. I looked at you and I said, oh my God, Becky, I see a movie. And you're like, shh, don't tell nobody. You know what I mean? So I didn't think I could think about it yet.
And that actually fell through. So that's okay though, because so I had that, I had signed the contract with the producer and everything. And it was like within weeks of starting, and then COVID happened. Everything shut down. Hollywood shut down. Everything shut down. And the production company went under.
Oh.
Yeah, the production company went under that was supposed to do it. And then it was just a big old mess. And at first, like I was obviously, the human part of me was like heartbroken. Like, what do you mean? But it's good because it wouldn't have been a good time. Like looking back at it now, because I got really sick this year.
Right.
I almost lost my life in April, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to stay here or go on the other side and help.
I'd watched a little bit from afar, and I was just like, I'm just going to send her energy. I'm just going to send her energy.
Yep. And that's what a lot of people did. And I knew what was happening, and I knew that I had to focus on myself for a little bit. I had forgotten to take care of myself because I just want to help everybody. And I put too much energy into, during COVID, it was like, I was in that panic, like, oh my God, let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. And there's so much darkness, that everybody was facing that I forgot to fill my own cup. And that was a huge lesson for me in being able to go forward and do this work. So had that movie deal went through, I mean, imagine like, it wasn't time. It wasn't time. That I believe was just for the purposes of showing me that it's possible.
Right.
So I've had many offers since then, and I'm taking my time like I did with writing the first book. When it's time and it's the right offer, I will feel it, I will know, and it will happen.
Exactly.
And so until then, I'm just going to do what I do and not worry about it. It'll happen if it's meant to.
I love that. I love how you say that. You know what I mean? Because you were such a, you're an inspiration to me. You really are. I hope you're an inspiration to many people. But it is so funny because sometimes you feel very like I can't touch her. She's untangible. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, but wait a second, I can text her and she always texts me back right away. So it's not untangible. If I go through Messenger, I'm not going to reach you. I already know this.
Yes, it's really hard to reach me through Messenger because I get hundreds of messages every day, and it's hard for me to get through all of them. And so if anybody ever wants to message me, it's better to, even email me.
Yes.
Or text.
And I want people to know that. Because I'm going to ask you, like, in a moment, how do people get a hold of you? Do not do it through Messenger.
No, don't message my pages on Facebook because
I am so sorry. I did not mean to ignore you,
Right, and I feel terrible about it. Like,
know.
my heart just feels terrible if somebody's like in a crisis and needs my help or needs my light, and then I see it 3 weeks later and I just like, oh my God, that's
Right.
horrible. But at the same time, I do have a message on there that says, hey, if you need me, message me here, because I just get an overwhelming amount of messages. And but you can always reach me on, holistichealing@gmail.com.
Beautiful.
Or my website, www.holistichealing.net, and it's WHOLEISTE.
Love it.
Healing.net. So those are really good places to get a hold of me, or, you can find me on social media, Becky Jo the Healer, on Instagram, Becky Jo the Healer, or the Holistic Healer. I have 2 different accounts there. If you just look me up on Google, you'll find many sources and ways to get a hold. I'm all over.
That's what I tell people. You can't, if I don't have a card, here's my name. Just Google. Just Google.
You will learn all kinds of stuff about me, and none of it's bad that I know.
Yeah. Well, even the bad stuff is good because it got you here.
Yeah, you're right.
I love it.
Exactly. I am so very grateful and humbly thankful that you asked me to be on your show.
Oh, I'm so happy you came because I know how busy you are. I know you're just incredibly busy, and to get you to be able to stop for an hour to say, talk to me. I am so happy.
Oh, thank you very much. I love spending time with you. And one more thing before we leave, I don't know if you remember when we were in Chicago together, a year ago, you gave me a reading and my sister Tammy came through. You probably don't remember because a lot of times we don't remember what we say to people, but it stuck with me. My sister said for you to tell me that she hates it when I wear pigtails. They're ugly. Yes. And so that whole year, every time I wore pigtails or pigtail braids, the rubber bands kept breaking. That's why the rubber bands keep breaking. My sister hates it. So I had to wear pigtails today just because of that. Like,
I love it. I love the pigtails. I do. I'm looking at you here going, why don't I ever do pigtails? Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And oh my God, and I have to tell you, thank you for allowing me to do that reading for you last year because it did. It's one of those confidence builders that you just go, I don't care how many times you've given readings. I don't care how hundreds. You have those readings that just go, wait a second, you were honored to do that reading, and you were asked to do it. And I appreciate you asking me and trusting me to do that for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very, very choosy about, like, I don't let people read for me. I don't let people do healings on me because I mostly do my own. But I knew that it was important for that I allowed you. I have to humble myself and allow people to help me too. And that's one of my biggest lessons that I'm learning, but also to help you realize that you're incredibly gifted. You're incredibly talented. You have a lot to offer the world too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to look for my name on your books because I'm just going to go to the website and I'm going to book a day and just come and spend a day with Becky Jo.
That would be amazing. I would love that. People drive from all over the United States to come and be on my table. So
I love it.
I would be honored to have you.
Oh, in a heartbeat. You don't even know, like, and you're only like an hour north. So it's not like it's a long, I have no excuse. Other than to just drive.
Yeah, no excuse. It's a beautiful drive.
Yes, and it is a gorgeous drive. So thank you so much, Becky. I appreciate you so much for coming on. You have truly blessed me and everybody. So thank you.
Yes, God bless you and everybody who watches this broadcast.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, have a wonderful day.
You too. You too. Everybody, I'm going to be back in a few minutes here with School Through Spirit on WLTK-DB. This is DeEtte Ranae.
Sunday, October 24th, the 2021 Statler City Psychic Fair in Buffalo, New York. Come out and meet psychic medium and host of School Through Spirit, DeEtte Ranae, and spirit medium and host of the Ghost Finders, Rob Thompson. DeEtte Ranae is a renowned psychic medium, medical intuitive, and master teacher of psychic mediumship development. Hailing from Wisconsin, DeEtte trained under world-renowned psychic Lisa Williams. Spirit medium Rob Thompson is one of DeEtte's mediumship development students. He is the host and executive producer of America's longest-running indie paranormal TV show, The Ghost Finders, on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Roku. He has made guest appearances on other shows including Discovery Channel's Paranormal 911 and A Haunting, and teaches paranormal research at the Los Angeles City College. Come and meet these two superb mediums together on stage for live gallery readings. Remember, Sunday, October 24th, the 2021 Statler City Psychic Fair. Get your tickets now at StatlerCity.com. That's StatlerCity.com. Doors open at 1, close at 6. Gallery readings, tarot cards, and more. Statler City Psychic Fair. Tickets at StatlerCity.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to School Through Spirit. I'm your host, DeEtte Ranae here. I have spent the most enjoyable morning speaking with Becky Jo the Healer. That's how you can find her on Facebook, on social medias. Please, please, please reach out, look at her book, buy it. The Calling of My Soul, I believe it is. Listen to her radio show. Check it out on Facebook if you're not in the community. She really just is such a beautiful gem, so authentic to who she is. There's no BS in her game. She really is. She is really that person. I'll never forget a story she told me about how she had done a small rant, a small let never soul go on Facebook, and it went viral. And not so much for what she was stating, but because people could see an angel with her. And it was just truly, truly magical, truly amazing. Just check her out. She is everything she says she is, and she's just so beautiful. And I was so blessed that she said yes to come on and talk with me this morning. Right now, though, we're going to go on to our weekly reading. And I know you haven't had it for a few weeks because last week we had to cancel the show. I apologize. Maria has been rebooked for November, and I'm super excited to have her on in November. So she will be here, but we did have to, for health reasons of the staff throughout the production team, we had some health issues, and we just couldn't make it happen last week. So let's go on to that reading, and I'm hearing 6 cards, guys, 6 cards. And I am using the Intuitive Soul Oracle cards by Lisa Williams. I love these cards. I am sorry if you cannot get them anymore. Remember, I told you for a year, if you want these cards, go to your local shop, go to your local dealer, whatever you needed to do, order them. But from what my understanding is, from at least the holistic shop that I go to that orders my cards for me, they're not able to get them. They got a letter saying, guess what? They've been sold out. It's the end of it. So hopefully there's another warehouse with some in there for you to buy. If not, if you see them on a shelf, if you see a used set, pick them up if you can. These are amazing cards, as everybody knows. I love, love, love them. So today, pick a number 1 through 6, or you can pick a couple of numbers, or you can pick all the numbers, whatever you'd like to do, but 1 through 6. I am going to pull those and then and kind of talk a little bit about each card, what it means, what it might mean for you, because this is literally for the week. What's your weekly reading, okay? We're also going to do a clarification card, and it is from this deck. It is Oracle of the Hidden Worlds, okay? And this is by Lucy Cavendish. Okay, beautiful, another beautiful deck. We've only brought that out a few times for what we use it for, but you know what? We might have to do it more. So let's do 1 through 6. See what we got coming, okay? As always, I'll take a picture of it and put it in the comments underneath everything for you. For the week to go back to, unconditional love, purity, innocence, and nurturing. It is the child card. If you can see this very well, or the children's card. I love this card. For myself, even though it's a children's card and it says children above, I really look at this as more unconditional love of yourself, guys, okay? This is time for you to look at yourself, the innocence of things, the purity of yourself. And really look at who you are. Really get to this core of who you are, okay? Wow, thank you. And when I say thank you, I'm thanking spirit because for some reason this is what they're showing me what you need to understand. You have some people out there, or maybe you're one of them, I don't know, that maybe you haven't done so many nice things. Maybe you've ended up in jail for driving. Maybe you've just made some bad decisions. Maybe you've been like, kind of judgmental of people, whatever the case may be. That's not maybe who you are that's just your surface. Okay. That's just your surface. I want you to look underneath all of that. Look at the internal of who you are. Look at this internal of who you are. Maybe the surface is you're more of a rebellion. Maybe the surface is more of, hiding or frustration or whatever it may be, but look at the underneath, look at this and give yourself some unconditional love, okay? Don't look at yourself as a bad person. Just look at yourself as that unconditional love, that you're beautiful and that, you know what, you really need to give yourself some love and nurture that, okay? I think we're on a roll here because now I've got the playground card. Do you see that? Beautiful card. Playground card is that youth, the playfulness, the inner child, fun, and laughter. So I think that really does pair with number one. So number one was the children's card, that unconditional love. Number two is the playground card. And it really is, now that you've nurtured yourself, you need to go in there and let that little inner child out, let it play. Life is not all about being serious, okay? Yes, we're adults. We have to adult, whether we like it or not. We have to adult on some level every single day. But that doesn't mean you can't laugh. That doesn't mean you can't play. That doesn't mean you can't let the inner part of you out and just have fun, okay? I always tell people, if you're going to do dishes, you might as well have fun. Put on some oldies, dance with, put some 80s on, dance, whatever you're going to do. Do a risky business type of thing, come out in just your shirt, underwear, and socks with a broom and mop, whatever it might be, but have fun. Let that child of yours play, let it laugh, let it see the joy of the world. Let yourself be that, okay? We're not all big and gruff and blah, 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 blah. You can get the biggest badass bouncer at the bar to giggle if you tickle his belly. Trust me, okay? Trust me. It's time for you to laugh. It's time for you to smile, okay? Wow, this is really saying something. Number three is the autumn card. I love this. I love this. The words on this are bear, wind, crispness, and stripping away. Okay. I like this because I'm looking at that stripping away portion. Okay. There was a time I didn't like autumn very much. I really didn't, because to me it felt like death. It felt like endings and death and trees falling, the leaves falling, the grass turning other colors, everything getting ready to go away. And I didn't really like it until I started to look at it for what it was. And I think that's what this card is trying to tell us, is looking at things for what it is. Sometimes once you start to look within yourself, once you start to allow that inner you really to shine out, you start to let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. And that's what this card is about. It is, if you've picked number three, you're at the point in your life to let those things that don't serve you fall away. And I know you hear that all the time. It's like, oh my God, what does that really mean? That does not serve you. Okay. And what I do mean is, excuse my language, and if I just heard it, clear as bell, if you're a jackass and you don't feel like being a jackass, learn to smile and hand people dollar bills. You know what I mean? Be the nice person. But it just means that, at the end of the day, you don't always have to put on this persona of what you've always been. Okay. If you are no longer that person, if you've lost or stopped being certain aspects of your personality, let those parts go away. They're not serving you anymore. They're just not who you are anymore. So let those aspects drop. Okay. And it also goes with people, places, things, all that type of stuff. You know what? You're in a time in your life that, for you to look at yourself and go, wait a second. I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not feeling this. And if you're not feeling it, let it go. Okay, just let it go. Let it be and kind of move on. Number four. Oh my God, it's the universe card. I can't speak today. Opening up divine energy and allowing the universe to help and guide you. Let's show you that card. Is that not gorgeous? I hate this whole flip screen on me, but for the cards, it works great. So this is the universe card. And I love this card, okay? Because I love how it's depicted, how she's She's opened herself up for that receiving. She's allowing to take in everything that's been given to her. And it really is that way. It really is that way. Because right now, if you pick number 4 card, you really are at that point where you're ready to go, okay, I'm ready. I've literally, I've done my work within. I've let everything go. I'm now just what might feel like a shell of what I used to be. And maybe you're not quite sure where you're supposed to go. But it is time to like drop your arms into your lap and just look up and go, you know what? I need help. Trust me, that help is going to be given to you. Okay? Trust that it's coming to you. Trust that it's already there. Remember how we talked in the very beginning about you just paying attention to you paying attention to the information coming in? That's what this is about. Okay? Ask for that help and allow it to come. Okay? Just receive, just soak it in. Don't fight it. Just allow it to be there. Okay? And that's what number 4 is about. Number 5. I love this card. Oh my God, I love every card. Let's not even lie about it. It's a tree card. It's knowledge, wisdom, and strength. Now, what I've told people so many times, I think I've told you before, I love that tree card. It's simply because when you look at a big old tree, okay, you see the beautiful on top. But when you look at the top and you start to follow it down, and then you look underneath, and if you could see under the ground, you could see how deep those roots go. You could see how far out they spread. And it is so amazing. And trust with this tree card, I think this one today is really more about, don't be shaken off your foundation. Don't be scared. Okay? Know that your roots, that you have built a foundation, that your tree, your roots network, it's deep. It goes up everywhere. It is holding you up. No matter what happens in life, these roots have gone down because of the foundation you've built, and it's not going to knock you over. Okay? No matter how much water comes in, no matter how much everything comes in, it doesn't matter what you've lost on top. It doesn't matter how many leaves fall. It doesn't matter how many branches break. It doesn't matter, if some of the bark is ripped off from the side of it. That tree, you yourself are still standing. Your roots are running deep. You've built this phenomenal foundation, knowing the knowledge that you have lived through everything you've gotten to this day, and you will continue to live, and you will continue to prosper, and you will continue to grow. And in the spring, everything is going to flourish back up again, because you've built a solid foundation of you. Okay? So trust in that. If you pick number 5 as your card, your foundation's great. This card pops up more and more and more, and it's the male card, and it's the male energies, male figure in your life, and the father figure. I love this card because it is talking about the masculine. But you know what? Today, when I'm looking at this card, and every time I look at this card, to me, it always means something different. Always, always, always means something different. But I'm going to tell you today, when I'm looking at this card, it really does feel more of you're not alone. You're not alone, okay? There is a father figure there. And you know what father figure might be to you? Might be God. It might be a male presence on the other side that's a guide. It might be that you've lost your dad and he's on the other side. It might be that your father's here on this side. It might be the own masculine energy within yourself. But trust that there's a father figure there, and that you are within those masculine energies. And when I do, and I'm not talking that feminine is weak or anything like that, or masculine is strong, but in old stereotype thinking, masculine meant protection. Not that mom didn't, really protect you, but it's just like a different feeling. And I want you to say that, you got that for yourself too. You got that for yourself. And if you pick number 6 and you're feeling as if you're not very strong, if you're feeling as if you're alone, trust that masculine energy is there. It's there within yourself. You've got the strength to do this. You have a strength to push through this, and that you do have that energy around you that's going to help you through. Okay. So with that being said, let's kind of look back over those cards a little bit. Number 1 was the children's card. That's really looking within yourself, giving yourself some unconditional love. Number 2 was the playground card, which really is that inner child letting it come out and laugh and play and have fun. 3 was the autumn card, stripping away that doesn't serve you anymore. Just let that crap go. it doesn't suit you anymore if you're not that person. Number 4 was the universe card, and it is that opening up. It's allowing the divine energy to come in and for yourself to receive. It's asking for it and allowing yourself to receive it. Number 5 is the tree card. Again, oh, that is about your foundation, guys. You know what? And it is, no matter what has hit you in life, you've got a deep foundation. It doesn't matter what's been stripped from you. Those roots, they run deep. Your foundation is great. Know that you can't waver off that. And number 6 being the male card, which is those masculine energies. And know that you're surrounded by them, that you do have that strength to move on and push forward. Now let's go for a clarification card. Doot, doot, a clarification card. Doot, doot. Okay. And it is today. Oh my God, I love this. I love this. We've never pulled this card, so it's taking me back because we never pulled it. It's the Gathering card, guys. Can you see that? The Gathering card. It is 33, which is a master number, just so you know. But the Gathering card is the community, the kinship, and companionship. And I really like that because when you're looking at this, you really can pair this with every one of these cards, because trust in the self that, you know what, throughout all of this, you're not alone. Especially in these times, you're not alone. You may feel like you're alone, but you're not alone, okay? You're very much not alone, because there's a community going through this with you. There's a community going, whether it be the pandemic of COVID or I just want to, or the variant, or Hurricane Ida, whatever might be going on, you know, it could be that you're listening to this and you're, you know, this is more the Taliban. I don't know, but no, you're not alone. No, you are not alone, that you are not going through this by yourself, and that as a group, as a community, we will all find strength in it. And literally, when you're looking at all these cards, every one of these cards can go back on a situation that's going on in this world today. So look at that and know that there's strength within that. Okay? I hope today's reading has helped you, and it can help you kind of get through everything that is going on today. And I really do hope it helps you in so many ways. Taking that picture, because you know I'd love to take the picture to get it posted for you. Okay, I'm going to clean this up really quick, and then I want to talk about the shows for the week because I love them. I love the station. I love this station. Okay, as you know, we have me today at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's School Through Spirit, which I love. I love this show. I also wanted to let you know a new announcement. I don't believe it's gone live. You're going to hear it here first. Hopefully it comes on very soon. Well, I can't say you hear it her first because, you know, Missy already broke it out last week. She told the world last week. But this good shit show is going to be coming back on Monday evenings. Can you believe it? Monday evening, she's going to come back, and I'm so excited to share this day with her. It's so awesome. So it's a good shit show. It's going to be on Monday evenings. I'm just like, I'm Googling everywhere for this stuff, guys. Everywhere. Christina Bloom. If I can click on it. Gotta bring it up so I can tell you about it. I believe it's on her page. I'm not positive. I'm hoping. I know she's going to start coming in on Tuesday mornings. I know she shared it 100 million times. I can't find it. Can't remember the name of her show. I apologize, Miss Christina. But she is going to be starting her show on Tuesday mornings. It's going to be an hour-long show. Kind of going from there. Which is pretty amazing. And when I get that, be the change. What is be the change? Okay, now, okay, Chris. I'm like going, Todd, what is Be the Change? He's laughing at me. Christina's show is called Be the Change. It's on Tuesday mornings. I know it's starting very soon. I believe it's starting September, which is phenomenal, which is awesome. Just so you know, on September 11th, we also have got a show that is through the station. It is, I'm going to click on it right now. It's September 11th. We are doing a 9/11 20 years later show. It is going to be 7 Central PM time. And it is a special tribute to the 9/11 time, the 9/11 date. Just to kind of go back, there's a few of us from the station that are going to come on and be part of that show, which is awesome. Now, getting back to the regular station, I just kind of got veered off, didn't I? If I can get anything on my phone to work, because you know how this works. Again, tomorrow we have got Kevin Mackian with the New Bridge Radio. He's at 7 Central Standard Time tomorrow evening. Haunted Voices with our very own Todd Bates. I believe Nicole Strickland's in on that show also. She's at 8 Central Standard Time, or they both are at 8 Central Standard Time. And Tuesday, even after that, we are at 10 Central Time. 10 Central Standard Time is Paranormal Pete with Pete Obea. Busy night, awesome night to have. Wednesdays will be open. So if you want your own show and you want a time slot, Wednesdays is open. Probably a morning or evening, whatever you want. Hook up with my producer, Todd Bates. Go through the website. He'll hook you up with a new show. Now, Thursday evenings, we do have the Afterlife Chronicles. And that is on at 8 Central Standard Time with Nicole Strickland. And Friday evenings is The Secrets Within, and that's with Ranae Rodriguez, and she is on at 8 Central Standard Time. Okay? That is it for everything. With that, please stay tuned. We're there everywhere. My guest next week is Miss Felicia Grant. She's a beautiful medium and healer. Oh my God, you're going to love her. I love her. I love her. Love her. She's studied with Lisa Williams, Tony Stockwell. She's been all over the planet. Awesome. Awesome. So everybody, thank you for joining me today. I will see you next week at School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com. This is DeEtte Ranae.